It's time for AEW's yearly event, Fight for the Fallen. Hi everybody, it's Tony Schiavone in the AEW Control Center. Our fourth annual Fight for the Fallen is set for tonight from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, and live on TBS beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Tonight's event will benefit Oceana, a non-profit organization dedicated to defending the world's oceans and marine life. To end global fin trade once and for all, 73 million shark fins are sold worldwide each year. Be a part of the solution by supporting Oceana and Discovery's Shark Week Fund and end global fin trade once and for all. Text SHARK to 707070 now to save our oceans and sharks. Support the Fin Ban. Okay, now on the Fight for the Fallen card from Worcester, Mass. Jon Moxley will defend the AEW Interim World Championship against Rush, who will have Andrade El Idolo and Jose in his corner. After his electrifying win over Dragon Lee Saturday at Death Before Dishonor, Rush had this to say.
I've been the dominant face of every company I step in.
And what a coup to have Rush in the fold here, 9-0, including his AEW debut, and that 9 goes across many countries and many organizations.
I am El Toro Blanco Rush, and I'm here to take down all those who call big name.
That makes 10 straight wins across AEW, Ring of Honor, and Mexico.
Moxley, your turn. I wanna show you cómo se debe desmadrar a las estrellas de AEW. Te voy a desmadrar, te voy a pisotear. You will know who Rush is. True violence, perro. Just remember, if you mess with the bull, you got that hard. I'll see you, Dynamo, perro. No pasa nada.
Rush is one of the biggest international stars in all of pro wrestling. It'll be a great contrast in styles when he collides with Jon Moxley at Fight for the Fallen. Also in Worcester, at Fight for the Fallen, Bryan Danielson will make his return to the ring for the first time since the Anarchy in Arena match at Double or Nothing. And he will face Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Danielson made this announcement this past weekend at the San Diego Comic-Con, and his announcement was directed at Chris Jericho, as both were on the AEW panel.
Because I asked Tony to wrestle you or anybody in the Jericho Appreciation Society, so I thought you would have known, or maybe you just
no one told me anything about this.
Oh yeah, that's very convenient.
Brian, you want to call me out at a Comic-Con? I'm in there wrestling your boy Wheeler Yuta, having one of the most hard-fought battles that I've ever had in my life. My knee popped out in the match, my back went out in the match, and you're doing a autograph signing at San Diego Comic-Con and you want to call me out. It's real sweet over there, isn't it?
Wednesday I'll be wrestling Daniel Garcia. And I'm gonna kick his head in.
It's not sweet here at AEW when I'm fighting in a double cage, getting thrown in thumbtacks, getting hit with belts, getting my forehead cut open by Jon Moxley. It ain't sweet, man. You're all well-rested and refreshed. You had a couple weeks off. I haven't. I've been here every week grinding. I've been here fighting for my life, Brian, and you've been sitting at home with your wife and your kids and your animals, working on your little garden. I don't have the chance to do that, Brian. I am your first match back at AEW. I'm your first match back at wrestling. I don't think it's secret. You're a big influence on one of my styles. Look at the color of my gear. I'm wearing maroon because of you. You're the reason why I wore this gear tonight, because you were the pure title. You were Ring of Honor. But it's a new age, Brian. It's not the age of the pure professional wrestlers anymore. It's the age of the sports entertainer. And I'm the best out of all of them. And I'm learning from the greatest of all time, Chris Jericho. Brian, I'm gonna use everything at my disposal to hurt you. And maybe I can send you on a nice little vacation with your family.
Daniel Garcia waits in the wings for Danielson in what should be a great one-on-one matchup. Also, we will have a handicap match on Dynamite as as part of Fight for the Fallen, as Swerve Strickland says he's had enough and wants both Tony Nese and smart Mark Sterling in the ring because of this bogus petition being passed around to remove Swerve from AEW. With this match, Swerve's tag team partner, one half of the World Tag Team Champs Keith Lee, is barred from ringside. Here are comments from both Swerve Strickland and smart Mark Sterling.
I promise you, man, the next time you see Swerve in another Battle Royal, it's going to be way too soon. Because every time I eliminate somebody, it causes more problems for me than it does solutions. So my solution to this problem is to kill two birds with one stone. Get rid of Tony Nese and get rid of Mark Sterling by agreeing to a handicap match tonight for Fight for the Fallen. It was the only way I was going to get them in the ring at the same time. And by the way, don't worry. I asked for the other half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the limitless one, Keith Lee, to stay backstage and watch me handle my business. There ain't nothing to worry about. I took care of Tony Nese before, and Kevin Gates damn near took care of Tony Nese and Mark Sterling by himself. So I'm going to have fun. This is going to be a good time. Swerve hasn't gotten out and got loose in singles action in quite some time. So Mark Sterling, Tony Nese, get ready to step into whose house? Swerve's house.
All right, we got Kevin Gates, Danhausen. Okay, here we go. Swerve Strickland. Ladies and gentlemen of the proverbial jury, Swerve Strickland thinks that this is a joke. He thinks that I'm a joke. He thinks that Tony Nese is a joke. Well, I regret to inform him that there is nothing funny about the People Against Swerve Strickland petition, as I like to call it, pass. There's nothing funny about my law firm, and there's especially nothing funny about the premier athlete, Tony Nese. Now, the roster came to me with concerns, and as one of the locker room leaders, I knew I had to act. So in using my American right to protest, I created a petition to remove him from the roster. And in doing so, I was humiliated on national television just trying to do my job, and Tony Nese was assaulted by Swerve's guest, the delinquent rapper, Kevin Gates. Now, Swerve might look at me as someone who's not the fastest, maybe somebody who's not the strongest, but I have this, and I have this. And they say that confidence is good, but overconfidence always sinks the ship well. Boom! Direct hit, because in challenging him to a 2-on-1 handy-capable match and banning Keith Lee from ringside, I knew that in his hubris, he would accept, and he did. He did. And now, Tony Nese and I can expose him for the fake, the snake, the fraud, and the failure that he really is. And imagine if a lowly lawyer like me was able to pin him in the middle of the ring, we could really expose him to the world as someone that doesn't measure up with the rest of AEW. Now, the person I feel the worst about in this whole situation, of course, is Keith Lee. I mean, he's just an innocent bystander being taken advantage of by his friend. That's why Tony Nese and I are going to be the heroes that Keith and all of the AEW fans need on Dynamite. Thank you.
This is the way Swerve wants it, and it will happen on AEW Dynamite as part of Fight for the Fallen. Also, the AEW Women's World Title will be on the line as the champion Thunder Rosa defends against Miyu Yamashita.
I'm a fighting champion. I've said it multiple times. And wrestling Yamashita in Japan, just bring back that fire that I was missing.
It's one-on-one. You are in a ring in foreign land right now. You're in Japan with that AEW Women's World Championship.
I don't know if you guys know, my first experiences outside of America was in Japan. That's where I started wrestling. That's where I found who Thunder Rosa really was. That fighter that never gives up.
Yamashita, 1, 2, 3. What, Miyu Yamashita?
Even though I lost that match, I gained a lot back. And I cannot wait to face Yamashita in my own home.
Wow, man, dude, this is nuts. Miyu Yamashita has just pinned the AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa and earned herself a shot at the championship.
Yamashita is, making waves everywhere in America. You're the next to watch. You're the next in line. You're my next victim. I wouldn't want to wrestle anyone else because I know you are the best, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. You are the best. You are the up and coming, and you're hungry, just as I am. She is a striker. When she hits in the ring and she hits you with those kicks and those strikes, you feel on every single part of your bones and flesh. I know what to expect from you, and you know what to expect from me. So this part 2 is gonna be better than part 1. Yamashita, I have a message for you. Ima, anata wa watashi mo ome imasu. This is gonna stay in America. The win is gonna be here.
The win by Yamashita over Thunder Rosa in Japan in the Eliminator match puts quite a spin on this title matchup. Can Yamashita beat the champ twice? And did the loss by Thunder Rosa destroy her confidence against the sensation from Japan? We're going to find out. Also at Fight for the Fallen on AEW Dynamite, the open challenge continues for the FTW Championship as Danhausen has stepped up and will face the champion, Absolute Ricky Starks.
This Dynamite is going to be Ricky Starks taking on Danhausen for the FTW Championship. And I want to let everybody know at home watching that this isn't a very comedic Ricky Starks you're talking to. You're talking to a main eventer. You're talking to a superstar, a world-class athlete taking on Danhausen. If you ask me, Danhausen, your record does not precede you here at AEW. In fact, had I known that you would be the one challenging, maybe I would have actually ended the match a little bit quicker than I did last Wednesday.
Well, Cole Carter stepped up, but Ricky Starks backed it up.
I got a little bit more in the tank, baby. And I'm feeling like this is the right time to keep it going.
I deserve to be FTW champion. I deserve to be a main eventer. I deserve to be where I am right now. Because I have busted my ass to get here.
Let's get another challenge out here. Richard!
Danhausen against one they call Ricky Starks, or as his personal close friends like Danhausen like to call him, Richard. Danhausen has known this fellow for many years, came up with him on the roads we traveled about. One time took a whole road trip across the country. California, all the way to Rhode Island. Came back, wrestled each other, day in, day out. Every single night it was Ricky versus Danhausen, Ricky and Danhausen, Ricky and Danhausen, headlining the independent scenes. And now Danhausen finds us in AEW. It is I, Danhausen, it's Danhausen. Richard, my mistake, Ricky, has something that Danhausen wants. It's that swearing title. Danhausen heard you had some sort of open challenge for the wonderful FTW Championship of some sort. And as the Inhuman Suplex Machine, Danhausen is owed. It is his birthright. So Danhausen would like to accept that right now!
It's gonna be Absolute Ricky Starks versus Danhausen for the FTW Championship.
You want to mimic Danhausen? Try to embarrass Danhausen in the middle of the ring in front of all the Fanhausens and the millions of Fanhausens at home? You will pay, Richard.
Regardless if it's you, if it's somebody named Joe, Smith, John, Judas, it don't matter to me. At the end of the day, I'm going to prove exactly why I have been FTW champion for a full year, and that's because I'm absolute. Because I have busted my ass to get here. And that's not to say that you haven't done the same thing, my man. I won't let the face paint fool me, because beyond that, I know there lies something a little bit more sinister.
Oh, that's a nice chair. It's pretty good. What is this made? Now, anyways, I suppose we should get down to business. Richard Armour. Danhausen already knows it. He watches the television every week. Ricky Starks is on the television every week, every single time. Danhausen takes a note. Here, if you remember correctly, it's Revolution. Danhausen cursed Ricky. Got in his head. So perhaps we shall take cursing mentality, curse Ricky.
Danhausen launching a curse!
And then Danhausen can just, do his finishing maneuver, the pin. Holds the leg, says 1, 2, 3, Danhausen wins. It's wonderful. Give the championship to Danhausen or be cursed. Are we done?
There is nobody like Ricky Starks. There will never be anybody like Ricky Starks, and so on and so forth. It shall come to pass that you, Danhausen, will see exactly why I am in the position I am in.
Ricky is a showman. He loves to be on stage and show off. That's what Ricky Starks is about.
But if you think that you can be just as evil and just as sinister, wait till you see the other side of Ricky Starks.
And that's what makes him such a great pro wrestler and such a big star here in AEW.
That is the side that I'm afraid of. And unfortunately for you, that's the side you're gonna get up close and personal. I am FTW champion. That is not gonna change. I am absolute Ricky Starks. That is not gonna change. I am the man from NO. I got a big mouth and a bad attitude, baby, and there ain't nobody that's gonna change that. And it will not start with you.
If you do not agree with this, you're cursed. Love that, Danhausen. See you later.
Starks and Danhausen one-on-one in this, well, how do you talk about this match? This will be one of the most remarkable athletes in all of AEW, Ricky Starks, against one of the most popular but yet bizarre athletes ever to step in the ring in Danhausen. It's all a part of AEW's Fight for the Fallen on Dynamite tonight, live on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. The event will originate from the DCU Center in Worcester, Mass. For our fans coming to the event in Worcester tonight, tickets available at AEWTIX.com and get there early. Additional matches start around 7 p.m. All right, fans, AEW Rampage headed your way, as always, this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on TNT. 2 matches already signed will be All Ego Ethan Page against Leon Ruffin. This will be a rematch of a recent match from AEW Elevation, where All Ego was very upset at how Ruffin pushed him to the limit. Let's see what All Ego, a member of the Men of the Year, has in store. Also, it'll be teacher versus student, as Matt Sydal faces Lee Moriarty. Last week on Rampage, Moriarty scored a tainted win over Dante Martin, and an angry Sydal, who had come to the ring with Moriarty, made the challenge afterwards.
Is this how you want to get that big win? Like this? I didn't think you were desperate enough to take the low road. I believed in you. I believed in you. But now I believe I'm gonna have to kick your ass. Next week on Rampage, you're not facing the student. You're facing the teacher, and you're not ready.
Well, Matt Sydal, there you hear it, laying out that challenge to Lee Moriarty. Student versus teacher next Friday night on Rampage.
Wait a second, I think that's his business card.
Ooh, Lee not taking the business card of Stokely Hathaway.
Very curious to see how this one turns out and how Stokely Hathaway's appearance will have an impact on this match. That and more this Friday as part of AEW Rampage on TNT at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. And now here's a look at where you can see AEW live in the coming weeks. Next Wednesday, AEW Dynamite Live comes to the Ohio State University campus in Columbus at the Schottenstein Center. That's in 1 week, Wednesday, August 3rd. It's our debut in Columbus, Ohio. 2 days later, on Friday, August 5th, you can be part of 2 big shows. AEW Rampage Live and Battle of the Belts, as both will originate from the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. In 2 weeks, on Wednesday, August 10th, we return AEW Dynamite and Rampage to the Target Center in Minneapolis for the Quake by the Lake. And in 3 weeks, on Wednesday, August 17th, we're back for AEW Dynamite Live and Rampage at the Coliseum in Charleston, West Virginia. And one more very important announcement to make. We're coming back once again to one of the greatest professional wrestling cities in the world. We are coming back to Philadelphia at the Leah Corus Center at Temple University for AEW Dynamite Live and Rampage, Wednesday, September 28th. Tickets for this event become available this Friday, July 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern at AEWTIX.com. So as you can see, we have a lot going on. First up, tonight, AEW Dynamite's Fight for the Fallen to benefit Oceana, a non-profit organization dedicated to defending the world's oceans and marine life. The event will take place live on TBS at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and will come to you from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. Get your tickets at AEWTIX.com. I'm Tony Schiavone. See you tonight ringside in Worcester and live on TBS. We are AEW.